You're listening to Rockers in Recovery Radio. If you'd like to find out more information, go to rockersinrecovery.com or Rockers in Recovery on Facebook. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. Hey, good afternoon. John Hollis with Rockers in Recovery. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Being a part of today's show, Rockers in Recovery Media is dedicated to carrying a message of addiction recovery education through music, news, events, and festivals taking place within and not limited to the clean and sober community. I want to invite everybody to check out rockersinrecovery.com or Rockers in Recovery on Facebook. Today we have a great guest. He's going to be talking treatment and recovery. And Lyle's going to come on right now and tell us a little bit more about treatment and recovery. Lyle, how you doing today?
Good afternoon. I'm doing better than I deserve. How are you doing today?
It's a beautiful day. Any day I'm above dirt.
Yeah.
So Lyle, I understand. There's a lot of parameters going on right now, and I want to go into the treatment end of this because there's a lot of parameters. I've seen a big article come out this weekend in regards to, you have to be careful who you deal with in the treatment community. What is, they wrote an article in the Palm Beach Post. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did, about the investigations and indictments and all that fun stuff. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What is your take on that whole thing, if you can just give us a brief overview?
Well, there's been no doubt that anywhere there's, for the last few years, that there's been treatment, there's been corruption as well. It's a lot of people making a lot of money off the misery of others, and that's unfortunate. For some people, it's not a helping industry. It's simply about making money at the expense of others. And so it was definitely great news to see some actual raids and some actual charges filed. We had seen some pushes before in the past toward that, but quite frankly, it became a little disheartening as those of us that are on task forces and other groups that are trying to clean up the industry have been reporting infractions left, right, and center, and still just not seeing the arrest that we had hoped for. And the other thing that's a little concerning is that the individuals that were arrested had previously been arrested for being involved with film mills, and there's some questions I have about how do you get a license even to work in our industry if you already have that history. That, to me, should exclude you from being able to operate in this space. We're not looking for people who are just trying to see people with substance use disorders as numbers or billable items. We want to see people who are truly to help people and save lives.
Well, and then there's the other part of that too, and it's the folks that are out there selling clients. Can you expand on that a little bit more?
Yeah, the client brokering, and there's a federal laws related to it as well as state specific here in Florida, and they're pretty clear. But people find that without threat of indictment and arrest and charges and financial hits, that why wouldn't they do it? Because to them, again, it's all about the money. So it becomes a number. Sort of like if you work in a downtown area and there's parking meters and you want to take a chance that I'll skip them, and then every month or so they'll hit me with a ticket. But quite frankly, I still make more money, so it's okay. The cost versus reward is there's nothing to stop them. And unfortunately what they're doing is they're actually costing people their lives because they're putting them into subpar treatment. Anytime someone offers you free things to get into treatment, free housing, Xboxes, cash, whatever it may be, you can be pretty assured that they're going to provide you subpar treatment at best. Those are not people who are concerned about your well-being. And so, unfortunately, some of the families buy into it. I spoke to a mother once who told me that she had decided to send her child to one of these places because they gave her $1,500 that she desperately needed. Well, the problem is she's basically saying that her son's life was worth $1,500 because he ended up relapsing, he ended up overdosing. And so these places are not going to provide quality care. You got to know that if there's financial incentives like that where they're offering you something, and the things that are illegal are pretty extensive, and some of them don't even necessarily make sense. So, for instance, it would be illegal for me to provide free airfare to a client coming in. I can provide free airfare to them going out, but I can buy them a bus ticket. The ground transportation is allowed, even though ground transportation is more likely to put them at risk than airfare. for some reason, that's the way it is. So that's when someone's offering you something as an incentive to bill your insurance, you can be pretty sure that they're not going to give quality care. And the people that are out there, sometimes there's marketers, they call themselves marketers, they're body brokers, that are out there doing this, and the facility they work for may not even be aware of it. I know there was a facility that I had high regard for, and I let them know that one of their marketers was doing this, and they were shocked and terminated them immediately. But that's why you really need to be very careful about who you work with. We do extensive training for all of our outreach people so they understand exactly what the law is and that there's no question in anyone's mind.
You know, Lyle, I like the fact that you are able to give us a lot of insight in this, and you help train other organizations and other treatment programs on the ethics part of this and the legal part of it, correct?
Correct.
What are some of the things that you help do?
Well, one of the things we want to help them do is understand quality treatment and the ethics end of it. I taught ethics, taught it as a part of our approved training provider status with Florida Certification Board. I've taught it in other environments as well. It's of extreme importance to me. If you operate ethically in above board in all areas, you will do better by your clients. Reputation to me is everything. And so I want to teach other people that as well, that you may make a lot more money in the beginning, but quite frankly, you're not going to help people, which is what we're in a helping industry. It's what you're supposed to be doing, at least not as well as you could. And then the other thing is eventually it'll catch up to you. And that's why these recent arrests were music to my ears. I've been telling people for a while that if you tread even in the gray areas, you don't even want there to be a question. And that's why when I'm asked to do consulting, I'm very picky about who I do it with. I've had a few where I met with them and I explained the ethics and the laws, and they said, well, how do you get around it? Well, that immediately terminates our relationship because I'm not looking to get around anything. I'm looking to teach you how to comply. So I won't work with people that are interested in finding ways around ethical codes and standards.
Lyle, great message. I want to also talk to you about the current heroin epidemic that's an opiate epidemic that is devastating our country. You know, there's upwards of 200 people dying a day nationally. Just in August of 2016, and here in Miami, there were 273 overdoses and close to 60 deaths. That's just in August. That isn't counting what's going on now. Can you give us a little bit of insight on the problem and what you think the solution should be?
Well, there's a few problems. Obviously, there's the overall opioid infusion of synthetics that are coming in largely from China and Mexico, from the fentanyl, the carfentanil, the W18 and W15, and some of them pose particular problems with the overdoses. When you get into the synthetics like W18 and W15, they operate differently in your brain. So they hit some of those receptors that the regular opioids do, and then they hit other receptors as well. And because of the way they work in your brain, they're not likely to be affected at all by Narcan, which is the drug used to reverse an overdose. So these people who don't always know what they're getting, when you buy even pills, they now have what they call shady 80s. These are bogus OxyContin and other opiate pills that are pressed by these people who basically work out of their basement or out of their bathroom or wherever it is, their garage, and they're mixing these synthetics in with other things. So you don't know how much fentanyl you're getting, you don't know how much W18 you're getting, you don't know how much is actually heroin or how much is actually, the Vicodin you thought you were buying or whatever it may be. So it's a real game of roulette every time you pick one of these up, and that's true of the bags of powder as well. And the problem is that W18 and carfentanil, it's 10,000 times more potent than morphine. So very little of it is all it takes to put you into an overdose. Couple that with the fact that it's known to cause heart conditions and heart attacks and other heart issues, as well as brain damage, and the fact that it won't be reversed by a hit of, or even numerous hits of Narcan, and it's just ripe for all these overdoses. So people are wondering why there's this explosion of overdoses. there is some increased use, there is increased access, but largely it's what they're consuming. It's the drugs that they're using are more potent and don't react like the other ones, so they can't be reversed when they try and save their life.
So the process of education really is a benefit to a lot of people. Getting people educated and letting them know what's happening, and letting people know that what they're taking might not be what they're taking. So
right, absolutely, and understanding that they're looking, and educating them on what's out there and also how it works, because there's some people out there that are aware that the W18s are out there and the people are dying on it, so they begin to smoke and snort it instead, thinking that by not doing IV use that they'll live and still get the high. And unfortunately, people are actually dying through those routes as well. And again, not reversible through Narcan, so it's a very, very risky out there.
It's a scary situation, and I think that the more education that we can put out as a whole, as a community, and the more that we can let people know that there is help available, and the more that we can let especially young people. I mean, it's devastating to see the young people that are. I mean, and I'm talking about August. In the last couple of days, I had a guest on a couple of days ago. We were talking about how many deaths there were, and over the weekend, she had somebody that passed away from the situation. So nobody's immune, and that's the part that people need to know.
And these are people that most of them are in the prime of their life, in their 20s, when you should be at the peak of your health, and then to lose your life at that stage it's heartbreaking.
Well, Lyle, I want to direct everybody to a phone number where they could reach you if they wanted to talk to you about any of the information we've discussed.
Absolutely. I'm happy to give out my personal cell, which is 772-332-8711. Again, that's 772-332-8711.
And you can also go to theshoresrecovery.com and find out more information. Lyle, we thank you for being committed to what you're committed to, doing the right thing and helping others, man. That's what this is about, and it's a pleasure to be involved with you personally, and of course the great work that you're doing at the Shores Treatment and Recovery Center. And I look forward to seeing you at the festival coming up in February. Unite to Fight Addiction, and Lyle will be one of the keynote speakers. You're invited to come on out. You can find out more information by going to rockersandrecovery.com, and you can also find the event on Facebook. Lyle, thank you again, and God bless and safe travels.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.
Yep. Bye-bye. All right, guys, there you go. Rockers in Recovery. We are here to be able to help educate. That's what this is all about. If you need more information, again, you can go to theshorestreatment.com, and you can also go to rockersandrecovery.com. Thank you.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.